Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Atlas Championship Series Playday 4. My name is Dino, and I'm joined once again by my favorite co-host, Fraser. How are you doing today, man?
Good afternoon, Dino. It's always a pleasure to be casting with you, and I cannot wait for today. It looks like we've got some absolutely brilliant games lined up, and I cannot be more excited, Dino. It's always a pleasure, as I mentioned. Specifically for Siege, it's just such a brilliant game, and I think we're gonna have some fun with these teams, aren't we?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a great game, and we've got some great teams coming at us. We've got Vexed, which is the X Demise lineup. They're going to be playing in our first game today up against UX, and that's going to be a real important one, I feel, because that's one of the first games that Vexed have been playing, or Vexed will be playing under their new org.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely going to be a lot of eyes on Vexed right now, trying to figure out how they're going to be playing. And, well, I mean, it's going to be the number one team going up against the number six team. So I think there's definitely going to be a lot of contention here as to how both of these teams will be playing. I'm excited specifically for Vexed, you know.
Yeah, and as we see the Vex lineup there, we've got Dowie, Harris, Users, Josh Glitch, and Pat. They've all got their names nicely done in game as well, so it's just Josh in game, not Josh Glitch. And as we look over at the UX lineup as well, we've got Lucania, Robinshu, Pangoro, One Tep Heck, and Chris. Now,
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Specifically for UX, I'm curious to see how they're going to be playing here. I mean, there's not really too much on the line for them here, other than just pure reputation, Dino.
yeah,
Specifically for Vexed, I mean, number one, 5 wins, 1 loss so far. So far, they've been doing very well in this league. Do you have any expectations as to how Vexed will be playing in this? Do you think they are going to be saving strats, or do you think they're going to come out of the gate storming?
I think there might be a little bit of intention to save some strategies. You don't want to give everything up from the get go, especially when you're playing a team that is sitting in sixth. As we look at those standings from Playday 3. Now, if we take into consideration the games that were played on Friday, Revenge did win both of their matches, so they are technically ahead of Vexed. So if Vexed want to continue to be at the top of the scoreboard, they will need to win both of their games here today. But UX, they're really not looking too good. I think they're almost out of playoff contention for the time being. They're only just within touching distance of it now. So it's going to be so important for UX to be able to bring a strong game out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine one of the main things for UX would be just trying to score as many points as possible and as many rounds as possible. At the end of the day, it's all experience for them, and if they can score some significant rounds against Vexed, that could set them up for next week quite nicely. I imagine you're probably going to get, a fair bit of confidence from winning some rounds against Vexed. And on the other hand, Vexed, they don't necessarily know what to expect out of UX.
Yeah, definitely. UX a bit more of an unknown factor in today's game, but what we do know about today's game is the maps that we're going to be playing and the maps that have been banned out. So Clubhouse was our default ban for this week. UX got the first ban, so they banned out Coastline and then Theme Park. Vexed banned out Cafe and Villa, leaving Consulate, which was UX's pick, with
Mhm.
Vexed starting on defense, and then Border with Vex starting on attack as UX's pick. So, as we mentioned, we're going to start on getting into Consulate. Fraser, talk us through these operator bans.
Well, I'm quite excited about this, Dino. As you are aware, I'm a big fan of Conch, so likely going to be see a hard breach ban coming out here. In all likelihood, however, it's going to be started off with a Ying ban, off by Vexed, deciding not to play it with her Candelars. Are we going to be seeing a hard breach ban come out? More than likely, we do see the Thatcher Maverick ban coming out quite frequently. It's a very strong ban, and it can change the flow of play. The question will be, are you actually going to do that? Because they're attacking first. They might want to try and score as many rounds as possible, and they're going to go for the Nomad, which is, quite an interesting one. A lot of the time, you do bring the Nomad for the windows. It's very powerful being able to deny those jump outs, which, Vexed, they might be highly aggressive here, and I don't know if that's going to work out in their favor. Defense plan's going to be coming up where we're going to be seeing plant denial or more utility based or maybe intel based as well, as Echo's going to be the first ban going out. I really hope that Vexed aren't going to ban out my beloved Valkyrie. Brilliant operator. Her gadget is just superb. I love her dearly.
Yeah, and we know Valkyrie's so strong on this map, but why is that?
I mean, there's so many places you can throw those cameras out. and they provide long lines of sight and a lot of information and intel. And intel is key for a game like Siege. Valkyrie's going off the board. Good night to my babe. And that is very unfortunate. On the bright
Yep.
side, it does mean that Mira is in play. So potentially we will see that being brought out. In particular, I'll be looking down towards the garage, as that's a very common spot to bring that Mira. Alternatively, I think it would be really nice to see them bring out the Mira on the top floor. Right. Remember the old like season two, season three strat, or the year one, season two, season three strat, where they had the mirror inside of kitchen, right, looking into admin. I would really like to see them bring that out again. I think that could be quite fun and a nice change of pace.
Mirror was year 2, season 1, not
Yes.
year 1, season 2. But anyway, one key thing to note is that Echo and Valkyrie have been banned, which relieves a lot of pressure from the attackers to needing to bring that IQ. Especially with Thatcher still up on the board as well, you can deal with a lot of that utility without needing to necessarily bring an IQ, which a lot of teams may not enjoy playing quite so much.
Yeah, I mean, IQ is a powerful operator, but if Valkyrie and Echo are banned, then you don't necessarily need to bring her as much. We are seeing the mirror being brought out, and as well, we've also got gridlock being used, um, which is a good, good adaptation. We do see that a lot of times people prefer to bring Nomad, specifically for the ability to air jab windows. But Gridlock is still so powerful. Not only does she have two great primary weapons, she's got the shotgun, and the track stingers are brilliant for cutting off those rotates and being able to hold down the staircases very effectively. I'm hoping we're going to see some usage of that as we're going to be diving into round number one.
Yeah, round number 1, as you mentioned, and we are going to see Vex defend the garage site to begin with. They've got the mirrors, as you mentioned as well, so that should give them some nice lines of sight. The Decadi being brought out by UX is going to be an interesting factor to try and deal with, to say the least. That very annoying Dekebi phone call can give up positions of roamers. And speaking of roamers, we see Pat at the top and users going for a run out, getting a double kill. That's going to be the Dekebi already gone, as well as the Ash. That's going to be so huge.
Yeah, I mean, losing two of your players like that in the starting few kind of seconds of the round here, that's going to put them at a major disadvantage moving onwards from here. Chris holding on to the line of sight, straight over towards long desk. We've got the track stingers being deployed outside of yellow. This is definitely going to dent their momentum pushing forward into this round.
Yeah, that's basically all of their initial pushing power. They do still have Chris on the Zofia, but you want to do a little bit more. You want to be a little bit safer now, especially playing that Zofia. And they've only got the Hibana to attempt to open up this garage wall. There isn't really any, well, there's actually no breach denial on the side of Vex, so that's going to be done successfully, but it won't be the biggest hole in the world.
Yeah, I mean, slight change of pace here as Lucania actually getting the kill onto Josh. Second one going out by Pat. And again, this is not looking like UX's round. It's all going to be up to Lucania and Chris to try and make something happen. Scratch that. It's all going to be up to the Zofia. As it's all but falling apart right now for UX.
Yeah, and Vex, the aggressive defense and hold has just worked out wonderfully for them, going for that initial run out by Udis, getting the double kill, and then the aggressive way that Pat has been playing as well. It it's not something that you generally tend to see, such an aggressive playstyle off the bat, and it's still staying outside was the alibi, and that's going to give Chris a double kill. Both Pat and users going down, so it's all going to be left up to Dowie and Harris to support and anchor operators inside of the site. It is the mirror and the smoke. Smoke only has 2 canisters left, so it's not as much denial as you would like otherwise, but it is still a decent amount of utility left available. The drone gets spotted out by Harris, and he's just going to fall back behind that mirror window. The diffuser has been recovered by Chris, but this round is still basically done with the smoke canisters. Going to make it impossible for him to get in and plant, especially with Harris on this mirror window, just staring down his face right now. The second smoke canister actually misses, giving Chris a little bit of space to work with to get on inside of the site. He's by the black car, pushing on up. He knows there's going to be someone playing close to the mirror windows, and he needs to go for the plant, but it's not going to happen. The bullet holes being held by Dowie, going to secure round number 1 in rather convincing fashion for Vexed.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of utility that Vex still had available for them in the dying few seconds of that round. They still had both of the mirror windows. They still had the mirror being played, as well as those toxic babe canisters, which were successful to a degree. Obviously, he missed one of them onto the yellow. Um, Very powerful, and I like that. Hopefully, we're probably going to see a similar style of play there, kind of carrying on into this game. We've got Pat and the Alibi, likely going to be playing fairly aggressively throughout this. I don't think anyone's going to be too surprised by that, Dino.
No. The alibi is a surprising pick, but to see Pat play it and to be as aggressive on it as we did see in the first round is definitely a unique kind of style to what we generally tend to see playing on this map. And we are actually going to see them go to the lobby and press room up next.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing here. Most teams would expect them to go upstairs, but instead we're going to lobby pressure, which could throw off UX a little bit. I'm excited to see what they're going to be doing here. As again, lobby pressure is not a site that a lot of people would be expecting you to go to for round number 2. It can throw off the operator picks who may potentially be expecting to go for that top floor. I'm excited about this. Maybe we're going to see a slightly different change of pace coming out by UX.
Now, we are aware that we're having a little bit of visual issues. You are staring just at the operator screen. We've gone to a little bit of a transition now. We're trying to get things back up and online for you, and there we are. Seeing round number 2 and the setup that's being brought out by Vexed. We're seeing, as typical, a lot of pressure invested upstairs. We've got Josh on the dock over by Yellow Stairs. I wouldn't expect him to be very aggressive, and Pat as well, maintaining his aggressive play style up close to that admin windows, trying to put as much pressure onto Pangoro as possible. The Ash very wary of runouts, especially considering the first round.
Yeah, a lot of teams do choose to invest heavily on that top floor to try and maintain control of it for as long as possible. As you mentioned, they could go for runouts there as Nomad is banned out and they're heavily reliant on Lacania's track stingers for the windows, which is something that we saw in round number 1. If they're able to successfully clear the top floor, that could put them at a major advantage, but they lose their Zofia, which is a massive loss. And look at that, Josh, what are you doing? Double kill going out so far.
Yeah, 2 great kills coming through from the dock, and another one from Users taking down the Capital. Great play by them, and this is a very dominant round for Vexed already. Yet again, Pangoro is able to call one back onto Users. We do have a little bit of a desync between what we're seeing and what you're seeing, so we'll try and sort that out in a second. But in a 2 versus 4 situation now, Vexed, all the advantage in the world. The Pulse Scanner going to spot out the players downstairs, and the C4 does a little bit of damage onto Pangoro, but not enough. Pulse of Dowie getting shot back in return, but escapes with his life. And this isn't looking too good for UX. The track stingers are being deployed to try and slow down any rotations on the top floor, but it's not the top floor that they really need to worry about. It's the rotations up the staircases and onto the site itself. Pat gonna finish off Pangoro off a beautiful peek, and then he gets the stim up straight away by Josh. It's all left up to the gridlock of Lucania to try and find a way to make this work in this round, but he's being aggressed onto by Josh, who winds up picking up a triple kill off a beautiful headshot at the end.
The sheer aggression being utilized by Vexed cannot be understated right now. They are challenging every single doorway, every single window, every peak, every angle to try and get these kills. They are hungry for it, you know. And that must be really intimidating to try and deal with as UX. They're supposed to be the attackers. And they're not really doing the attacking because they're just being demolished at every turn so far.
Yeah, to just be constantly on the back foot as the attacking side is going to be so difficult for them to try and deal with. It really doesn't give you much space to work around and actually get your attacks going off effectively. And it's just it's just not an enviable position to find yourself in if you are UX.
Attackers need to locate and
Yeah,
defuse
I
the
mean,
bomb.
they're bringing in a couple of different operators, and I'm kind of liking the slower change pace, hopefully, that we will be seeing by UX. Dowie also going to be bringing out the Mozzie, uses swapping over to the Vigil. I don't know whether he was playing that previously.
Yeah, I've been playing the last 2 rounds.
Okay. I'm looking at this and I'm a little bit concerned, if I'm honest. Vexed might be able to start running away with this game if UX aren't able to stem the bleeding, so to speak. If they're not
Yeah.
able to try and clear this out, the last thing you want to do is give a defending team all 3 rounds, right? And give them the opportunity to go back down to Garage Cafeteria with a massive advantage.
Absolutely, and as we look kind of ahead, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but the second map being Borders really going to favor the aggressive playstyle of Vexed if UX aren't able to, get some momentum and some strategy working on how they want to deal with this playstyle coming out from Vexed.
Yeah, I mean, as you're saying, they're so aggressive, and a map like Border would just heavily favor them. The amount of windows and doorways that you can peek and challenge, and the long lines of sight that you can establish, are definitely gonna suit players like Josh with that dock, the MP5, the ACOG. So I'm a little bit concerned about that.
Yeah. Middle floor control is being established relatively quickly, though, for UX. Chris has taken quite a bit of damage from an initial gunfight, and Pat going to get the first kill. Yet again, it's the Ash going down very early on. It's really not going to bode well for UX. This pushing potential that they keep on trying to establish into the site and into the map itself just keeps being denied before they're really able to get much of anything done just in the round. Users still over by this admin area trying to delay as much time as possible, but UX is still struggling to get on out of Visa and the garage itself, where we see the Zofia.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like UX are so intimidated right now by this game. They don't really feel confident in pushing us. Lacania's going to get finished off by Josh. And this is just what we're talking about. It seems like they aren't confident in their own abilities. UX are able to pick up 1 kill onto Harris. It's immediately traded out in return.
Yeah, and that's going to be, yet again, another 4 versus 2 favor of Vexed. And the great thing about bringing Josh on this dock, it's not an operator that you generally tend to see too much in the competitive standing, but when you are being this aggressive, it can really work out for you. You can take those gunfights and then get the heal and go for yet another one, but you can't get healed up when one tech hits a headshot like that. Gonna drop Pat and start to even out this man count just a little bit. He still needs to recover the diffuser, which is going to be watched by players on the hatch in Visa, or in admin even. So it's going to be a difficult task, and with the time whittling down, and Chris on such a low HP, it's going to be so difficult for them to do. Dowie going down makes it a little bit easier. The Buck able to successfully secure that kill. And this aggression up the Visa stairs might work out, but no, the Vigil of Users is ready and waiting for it, and he hears a door getting opened. The Zofia top of Spiral, 1 shot away from death, and Users wants this kill so much. Josh applying some pre-fire to force him into one particular angle, and this is going to make it so much easier, but no, Chris gets the kill. He needs to reload and switch weapons. He goes for the pistol instead of trying to find the time to reload, and the angles and the timing Users playing with his food, not even going to go for the kill. They didn't have the diffuser in hand anyway, so Zofia couldn't get on inside, and Plant needed to try and find the frag at the end, but was unable to do so, and that's a clean defensive sweep, or rotation even, coming out from Vex.
Yeah, I mean, you do have to feel for UX right there. Zofia, Chris tried his best, but it's just not going to happen, and he was so close. He was so close to finding that vigil. He just couldn't make it happen. And at that point, 40 seconds remaining, they were starting to even things up. But they've got very limited options. They don't have diffuser. By the time they get diffuser, they can only really go for 1 bomb site, which would be the A, the meeting room, or they just go for the frags. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. They're now staring at a 3-0 deficit in favor of Vex. And it looks like we are going to be going to my favorite bomb site down in the garage, and we are going to be seeing my second favorite operator being brought out. That's going to be the Mira. It's going to be quite fun. I do like how Pat's playing the Mira. We do see that Mira's banned out quite frequently, so the few times that she is unbanned, it's nice to see teams still fully utilizing her, bringing her out, because there's a lot of teams out there that don't necessarily know how best to deal with the Mira.
Yeah,
right? And it can be a visual deterrent because people are so used to scrimming without Mira. A lot of teams nowadays don't really know how to deal with her in a time-efficient manner.
interesting mirror placement actually being used. typically there are two places or two strategies that are used when you're bringing the mirror. The first is you have one inside of bathroom, one inside of security, looking on into piano and the site itself, and then you have, or you could potentially have one inside of security and then one on that cafeteria garage wall, but they've gone for two inside of security. Josh going to get the lead off kill, and another one, but a trade coming out from the Blackbeard and the Dekedi. So it's still 2 versus 3 in the first 30 seconds of the round. Lucania has lost about 48 points of health, and the shotgun is actually going to down him. Josh getting aggressive on this doorway, and he's still ready to take the fight. He's going to lose his life, though, but it's immediately traded out. Vexed trying the hardest to make my job as a play-by-play difficult today.
Well, if at first you don't succeed, well...
Jump out of more windows.
Well, you see, the problem with jumping out more windows is that's exactly what Vexed are doing right now, and it's already working for them. They don't need to jump out of more windows, but they're doing it. As a lot of kills going out for Vex right there. Josh and Pat both sitting on 7 kills. If this is what they're capable of on defense, I'm terrified to see what they're going to be doing when they're rushing in with the Ash, the Blitzpanzer Stärker, and a Lion. All in one go. Imagine a Thinker as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think last week, or the last time we saw this lineup play on Consulate, they started out on the defense. They had a very strong defensive half, and then when it got to the attack, they started just running around one-tapping people with pistols.
I think they're a good team.
Yeah, a group of gunners, UK massive.
UK massive. Who'd have thought it? Vex coming back with a brilliant lineup. Never would have seen that coming. Ever.
No, definitely one of the more standout UK-based orgs within Siege, and they know how to pick their squads. I'll put it like that.
They definitely do. This is round 5. We're now. I'm curious about this. We're likely going to be staying in upstairs hold as per standard. A lot of teams do favour it. It wastes a lot more time and utility on the side of the attackers than it would do to just hold in a more conventional bottom floor or mid floor hold. As Uses getting a kill into Pangoro, and again, it's just again and again and again. And what are you doing, Uses? How are you making this happen? Triple kill going out.
3 kills in 25 seconds. They haven't even left spawn yet. It's all left up to Lucania and Chris. The Monty and the Zofia. Pat gets spotted out and only loses about half his health, not able to land the headshot. But the kill comes out immediately back. Users with a 4K and Dowie getting 1 as well. A flawless round for Vex. And this is looking more and more like a flawless half.
Somebody call a responsible adult, because this is just pure bullying right now. 5-0 right now. In favour of Vexed. There's now 3 players on their team with 7 kills. Is Harris yet to find the scoreboard, but he has had a couple of assists. To be fair, I do just want to highlight this. It's not because Harris is being a badass Jaeger main. It's simply because, let's be blunt, half of his team are getting half the kills on the round anyways. It's not as if Harris...
Yeah, if Harris is playing... So the way that this defense is working for Vex is it's kind of defense in layers. They go for those initial spawn peaks, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, they actually have a solid strategy to base it around on the inside of the site. And Harris is part of that inner component to defend the site itself. And, well, Usus and Josh and Pat are just hitting everything. So he's kind of sitting there going, yeah, I'm here too.
I mean, you basically just hit the nail on the head there. Look at this. They're 5-0. They're, winning most of their gunfights. Despite that, they're still setting up. They're still setting up site. They're still prepping site. Fully prepared to fight conventionally. And play back closer onto site with their utility and their gadgets. But they're just peeking out of everything. Look at this. Look. This is Uses teaching poor wee Harris how to get some kills. Is it going to work out for him? Has he been eating his Weetabix today? We'll find out. No, he's not. He's run away. This is why Harris has 0 kills. This is why he's got 0 kills. It's because he's running away.
He sat there in the Discord going, "Oh God, I just want to kill, please, please, just let me get one." So Usus looks like he's going to be playing a bit more defensive on the site now, but Harris is running away from where the actual attack is coming from over by these yellow stairs, so he might not be in the best position to actually be able to pick up one of those kills. Usus again with the lead off, but is immediately traded out after dealing quite a bit of damage onto Lucania. So it's even man count, but you're losing a Vigil for a Zofia. It's still favored in terms of Vexed.
Yeah, I mean, definitely still. I would say that it's still favored in Vex. They did lose the Vigil, but arguably, Caresso's been doing a lot more for his team. Ah, Pangoro. It's unlucky.
Dowie landing the headshot onto Pangoro, and two players repelled up on these windows, one player repelled up on the bathroom window. It's not looking too good for them. The smoke and the firebots are coming on through. One tip heck looking like he wants to repel on in and go for a plant, but just the rush is coming through into the site. Dowie gets taken out by a claymore, Josh gets the kill onto one tip heck, and Harris, still with no kills, also gets eliminated. So 2 versus 2, Josh and Pat both on relatively low HP, and they seem to be aware that they're, well, at least one is over by the top of yellow stairs, and Josh is sitting close in this cubby. The Hibana on the bathroom window comes off and is peeking from the skylight, trying to find an angle on into the site itself, see if they can work these angles and find the players. But Josh is already way away from where he was previously, and is rotating up through the main long hallway to try and work behind this shield and work the angles. The pistols out there ready to just land these taps. The diffuser has been lost inside the site, so it's all up to UX to try and make this work, find a way on in. And it's going to be the gridlock. Lucania getting the kill onto Josh, who was behind that shield. It's all left up to the mute of Pat to try and make this work and give them the flawless half. Pre-fire's coming through, and the repel on in from the Hibana. She's going to collect the diffuser and try and go for the plant behind the desk. No, she's pushing up closer to the reinforcement. Pat is downstairs. He doesn't have a C4 to hand, and he's waiting for the pings to come through to find out where the plant is going down. He gets the notification, and he's able to secure the kill with the shotgun through the floor, and it's all left up to the gridlock on such low HP to recover the diffuser and find a place to plant. But with time running out, she elects to go over to A. The floor here is destructible in its entirety as well. So a good ping coming through could assist Pat in getting this kill. But no, the plant is... He gets off the plant! Oh no, he gets the plant down! The audio slightly desynced on my end, but he was able to finally secure the plant, and it's left up to Pat in this 1 versus 1 to try and secure this kill. Rotating up the Visa stairs seems to be what he wants to do. If he jumps out of that window, he might not have enough time to rotate back on inside and get the plant down, but he's just going to get shot. Beautiful angle being held by the gridlock to secure the round.
I mean, bit of an off angle being held there by Lucania. You'd never expect the gridlock to be prone in the middle of the balcony. But that's exactly where she is. And again, well played by UX. And that was just an absolute flurry and a McFlurry of kills going out there by both sides. Brilliant performance. And so far, I'm pretty impressed by Lucania. 5 kills, 3 assists. It's doing pretty well, and I'm excited to see what Lucania will be doing on that smoke. We're also bringing out 2 sets of ADS. We've got the Jaeger and also the Wamai. Castle also being brought out. 2nd floor, console office, main room. It's going to be our first bomb site for UX.
Yeah, and Lucania, he's done a good job actually being able to secure some of those kills just through the aggressive playstyle that's being brought out. I do believe he was on Monty for a round as well. So to still be top fragging after being in that position is quite impressive. What I want to see though is how aggressive are Vex going to be able to play when they're on their attack. This defensive setup needs to revolve around delaying them as much as possible, and they do have a good way of doing that. They've got the Goyo, they've got the smokes, and they've got the castle to force a lot of utility, delay a lot of time, and they've also got the Jaeger and the Wamai, as you mentioned, as well. That burns so much utility, prevents a lot of that pushing potential that we generally see from most teams. But Vexed aren't most teams, and I don't think we'll see a particularly standard push. More than likely, it'll be a rush up one of the staircases and just an explosion on into the site right off the bat.
I mean, speaking about rushes, they do have quite a couple of 3-speed operators, and it looks like we may potentially be seeing a push up through yellow. Look at this little conga line going past. They're not going for the rush Unless they're going for the hot breach, which I would love, but I doubt we're going to see that.
I wouldn't be too surprised if they did. There's no one actually sitting inside of the site itself. Oh no, there is one player close up to those B windows. So it does give them a little bit of a potential. Yet the breaching charge goes off. They're already inside of the site. Robinshu gets one onto Pat. Dowie trades it out. Josh gets one as well. There is Users has been downed, but Harris is going to be getting the plant down inside of the B bomb site behind the sofa. The castle barricade providing perfect cover for them. He might even be able to get out of the window to assist later on in the round. Users was finished off. Josh inside of bathroom has the crossfire, as well as Dowie that's sitting close on the breach. Harris gets one after Pangoro takes down Josh. So still 2 versus 2. As I say that, 2 versus 1. Dowie secures the first kill, and it's finished off by the Zofia. Vexed winning round number 7 to put them up 6-1 on Consulate.
Yeah, I don't think they're going for a hot breach. Freeze up, 2020. Shortly before the hot breach into the site. Brilliant performance overall, and it's just okay. To be fair, I wasn't expecting that. It was quite fun. I like how they're playing. I love the kind of the fast and loose playstyle being utilized by Vexed. And it's working out really well for them, and it allows them to just fully push with that aggression and the momentum that we see some of these players carrying throughout them.
Yeah, the aggression has definitely been the name of the game for Vexed, and it's not slowing down at all as they move on to their attack. I don't think, however, UX will fall for it yet again. They'll be a bit more aware to the potential of a hot breach coming in from almost any angle, and I think Vexed aren't going to give them precisely the same look. They might switch it up and try and go for a fast push elsewhere. Users has moved on over to the Monty. Apparently not happy with his performance in the previous round, not being able to pick up really any kills or any momentum to assist them, so I wonder how this is going to work out for them. Bringing a Monty is either indicative of a yellow stairs take or up the Visa stairs.
Okay, so fun story for you here. Okay.
Ooh.
Back when I was an analyst for a team, I developed a strategy that was so perfect because no one would expect it. Okay. It's fairly situational. It was actually for this bomb site as well, the B bomb site. Provided they had a castle on the 2 windows, you'd put a thermite charge on there. Okay. And you'd have a Montaigne sitting on there. You detonate the charge, wait 3 seconds, jump back, Montaigne goes in, starts smoking, goes for the plant. It's perfect. They would never expect a Montaigne hot breaching through a thermite onto a castle barricade to go for a plant.
There are a lot of reasons why you might not expect that, but something I didn't expect as well is Josh has already been down. Not entirely sure where that peak came from, but he's going to get revived and not finished off now. He's going to be the one to collect those 50 points, and the follow-up peek through the windows will secure Josh, but one tap Heck is going to lose his life immediately for it. Losing a Jaeger for Hibana definitely plays in favor of UX. However, Vexed haven't been going for the most utility-based strategy, so I don't think losing Josh will be too much of a worry for them. Pangoro taking down Dowie. Pat gets the kill onto Lucaria, and Pat is inside of the site. He gets immediately dropped by Robinshu. That's still a very aggressive position to find himself in. Harris has taken up that position on the windows. Does have the smoke bolts, but is going to get caught by the Wamai discs position close by. Uses ADSing as the Monty will land the immediate headshot onto Pangoro and will be able to push on up these yellow stairs, which could give him a nice angle to try and help the Capitao of Harris as he tries to repel in for this plant. Wamai discs yet again catching more utility being brought out by the Capitao. And he's not going to go for the repel in just yet. Uses going up the spiral stairs as opposed to yellow. Might try and apply a pincer pressure onto the site itself. Doesn't like Chris, well, the castle barricade definitely giving away Uses his location. Chris wasn't too concerned about it for the beginning of it. Shots through the floor, does a little bit of damage onto the feet of the Monty, and the smoke bolts from the Capitao finally land to give a little bit of cover. The shield, the barricade goes down, and now it's a back and forth. They're trying to kill this Monty so they can focus on, but both of them are looking at the Monty, so Harris has managed to find his way in and is actually going to go for the plant. Users is doing absolutely brilliant work, denying as much as possible. The plant has gone down successfully. Users still going to be a pain in the neck as Harris is going to be able to take up a secure position inside of the site. They need to secure the kill onto the Monty, as a Monty in a post-plant situation is almost impossible to deal with, but they're not going to do it successfully just yet. Harris found his way outside of the building, is going to be rappelling up on the windows to apply cover.
Defenders have eyes on the diffuser.
The one
Attackers
Mai
need to
goes up
protect it.
close, knows that there's a player on the windows, but isn't going to be able to find the kill. He jumps on out, looks the wrong way, and is eliminated by Harris, who can now focus on the diffuser itself in support of the Monty. Users doesn't get taken down, but Vexed finally eliminates Vexed Users finally eliminates Rubinshu, and that's going to be 7-1.
I feel like we just need like Benny Hill's theme music going on for that Montaigne there. Brilliant performance being brought out by Vex, and it's not a surprise to see just how dominant they were. Even when they're doing things that are so unconventional that you'd never really expect, they pull it through and they make it happen. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, except for Rainbow Six Siege. They get your dreams and they make it happen. 10 kills for Users as well. What a performance.
2 of them are on the Monty.
Hmm.
But that is going to be all from Consulate, a very explosive map, and that was UX's map pick. So as we're going to move on to our second map of Border after a brief little break, Vex's pick, what do you think is going to happen there?
Well, I'm a little bit concerned about this, considering how aggressive Vexed were on Consulate. I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do, and in all likelihood, I imagine we're going to see more run-outs, more jump-outs, more aggressive peaks. I think it's going to be fun. Whether UX are able to successfully deal with that kind of aggression, I'm skeptical about, but again, I'm always happy to be wrong. I'm always happy to see what happens.
Yeah, we will have Vex starting out on attacks, so they're going to need to bring the momentum themselves, and it gives UX a little bit of breathing room to try and stagnate some of it. But before we get onto that, we are going to have a quick little break, so please don't go anywhere, as we'll be getting into the second map between Vex and UX very shortly. Welcome back, everybody, to Atlas Championship Series Playday 4. We've got Vexed versus UX. We just saw an absolute beatdown going on at map 1 of Consulate. We're going to be moving over to Border very quickly. Before we do, Fraser is joining me. What do you have to say about Consulate?
Oh, hi there, Dino. Wow,
Hi.
what a map. Honestly, it was kind of a shock for me just how dominating Vexed were for that, for all intents and purposes. Like, I was expecting it maybe a little bit closer, to be honest. Vexed on defense, intimidating. Vexed on attack, scary. Like that, I think that's probably the best way we can kind of describe that. There was the way that they attack is just so aggressive and unpredictable in that they are going for hot breaching, they are bringing out the Montaigne and using that kind of independently of other players. A lot of time you'd see the Montaigne being brought out and it's more central to a strategy. You see them being covered, by teammates from behind and stuff like that. Instead, we're just seeing Yves just kind of going, you know what? There's a doorway. Let's go through there. Let's see what's over there. And oh, look, there's two guys up there. And he's just playing around with them. Honestly, it feels like he's just toying around at that point. And that's kind of intimidating. On the other hand, UX, I kind of expected a little bit more from them. I'm hoping that obviously going over to Boredom now, maybe we're going to see a change of pace. I think that's what we all want from games like this is bringing out something new, something exciting, and Operator Bands, it's definitely going to be the place you want to bring out some extra special counter strats or counter bands.
Yeah. Border, though, is Vex's pick, so they're definitely going to be the ones firing on all cylinders. They are starting out on attack, so it's going to be a little bit of a different playstyle for them and be able to see quite how their attacks are structured. And as we get through these bans, UX are banning out the Thatcher.
Well, yeah, I mean, hard breach ban can be fairly powerful. We know how important verticality is for a map like Bora, and being able to maintain those reinforceables for as long as possible is very important. Ying also going off the board again by Vex. That's the second time in a row that they banned out the Ying, so not too much of a surprise. But what will be a surprise will be these defense bans. I'm hoping they don't go for the Valkyrie ban again because they did it last round. I like Valkyrie, powerful operator, very powerful operator when used correctly. And if there's any teams that are going to do it, it will be Vex and UX. It's going to be a meta ban going out, which, okay, that's kind of an interesting one. They were the ones that used near the last map. So, Echo, Mira could be the way forward here, I imagine. What do you think, Dino?
Yeah, Echo is probably going to be the most likely operator to be banned out, and there we are. Echo is going to be removed. You say that Vexed were the team to actually bring out the mirror on Consulate. Vexed were the only ones who actually got more than 2 defensive rounds, played a different site, and so realistically had the opportunity to bring out a mirror. You don't necessarily want to show the mirror on a top floor defense, which we saw UX attempt twice, and it didn't pan out. Speaking of a top floor defense, UX are going to be going that here on Border, and it's it's generally the strongest site to hold on this map. How do you feel they're going to go about it?
I would imagine they're probably going to be playing fairly, central onto the objective. They're probably going to be playing centered around Archive. Sometimes you see a lot of teams, pushing out towards CC and trying to hold that, expending a lot of utility in there with like the Jaeger ADSs and so on and so forth. I doubt that's going to happen. Valkyrie is not being brought out. And actually, another interesting one being brought out is going to be Dowie on the Nomad, which was previously banned out. We did see that UX were trying to rely on the gridlock using her track stingers outside of windows to deny those jump outs. So Nomad now being brought out, that's going to allow Dowie to, be a lot more effective in terms of denying those jump outs. Whether we're going to be seeing UX play as aggressively like that, I'm not quite sure yet. Maybe. We are seeing a fairly spread out defense into office as well. You see them reinforcing sandwich as well, which is a lot of the time, if you are expending utility into an area, it means that your team deems it necessary. You need to hold on to it for as long as you can. And the fact that they are reinforcing inside Office Fountain, it would imply that they're going to try and hold on to that a little bit more than they might initially. As One Tap holding on to East Staircase, might be going for a run out here. And lands a shots onto users, takes down the sledge. Wasn't able to pick up a second, but that is a good, solid entry kill into this game.
Yeah, nice to see UX bringing the aggression on towards Vex as well, and he's ready for the second. Gets the kill onto Pat. The Jackal gone early on as well. Josh has managed to find his way into CCTV, so they do have a bit of control already, and one kill. That's the smoke gone. Josh landing the headshot as the Ash. But there's a nice kill to get early on. Harris might even be able to go for this breach. Doesn't look like it. Oh no, it is being electroclawed at the moment. Harris does lose a lot of HP trying to challenge the angle. Josh drops downstairs, and One Tep Heck has been stimmed all the way back up. Harris finishes off One Tep Heck, rotating on it into the site. Josh down below might try and find out where this electroclaw is to see if they can get rid of it, but instead he's gonna find the Kaid himself. Robinshu going down, and now man count all of a sudden even as Pangoro gets the kill onto Dowie. The Nomad eliminated from the round, and Harris is on 1 HP effectively. Josh still on full health. He's already gotten 2 kills in this round, and Harris is going to get down, presumably by the dock of Pangoro, who is playing close to the wall. He looks the wrong way, and the player at the wall, through the wall! Josh, through the wall, lands the headshot onto Chris. He's got the shield that he needs to try and bolt on over, which is going to give Pangoro a bit of an advantage if he elects to do so, but with plenty of time to work with, still way more than a minute remaining in the round, it gives a lot of potential for rotations. The Doc rotating out of his spot is actually going to get detected by the Ash. He's able to find a way back on in. Josh unable to land the headshot, though. It's going to be Pangoro securing round number 1 for UX. The aggression from Vexed still being brought out.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about it, how aggressive this map can be played if used correctly with the runouts, jump outs, challenging everything you possibly can. And what a way to start the game off by going for a runout. It's absolutely insane, and you see that, the impact that that kill had. Taking down Hughes, one of the more influential players for Vexed in the previous map. It's not a surprise we're now looking 1-0 in favour of UX. They are going over to Ventilation Workshop, but likely going to be seeing an upstairs hold being established. They do have the kite again, in all likelihood, for that armory wall. Verticality is key, especially for a map like Border. You need to hold on to the floor above the objective, because as soon as you lose that, the attackers are going to sweep on in and just completely dominate an objective from above. So it's very important that they hold on to that for as long as possible. They are now bringing out the IQ of Pat. No more Nomad, which is a kind of a surprise here, considering how effective One Tep was with the runout in the previous round. They're now getting rid of their primary runout denial in favor of an IQ.
Yeah. I mean, if you're aware of where the runouts are going to come from, and you feel like you suck with Nomad's guns, some of them can be quite difficult. Well, the AK is definitely considered to be more difficult to control than the ARX, so, you know, Pac moving on over to the IQ. If he's bringing out the G8, that's a 51 bullet R4C in all effect. Josh also bringing his own R4C, but what's the pick that's really interesting me from Vexed is this is the second time now that they've brought out the Jackal, showing that it's not just a, you know, gimmick one that they're trying to use in an off strategy. It's actually part of their meta that they want to bring consistently.
Yeah, I mean, Jackal can be so powerful when used in conjunction with a Rumplunge, being able to scan out the position of vendors whilst pushing with an Ash or another entry frag. Can be very powerful if they're able to shut down an operator like the Mozzie with Pangoro. That could be very strong for them, and it'll put them at a major advantage moving forward. They've got control of CCTV, now they just need to start converting that entry control of either office or through armory. That's absolutely key for this.
One Tep over by those east stairs, fired a couple shots and is going to go for a rotation, so he's already given up that top floor control, making it a bit more difficult for the 3 players who are still up there. It's a lot of utility to be invested, and these feet are actually going to get caught on out. Great, a bit of utility usage by Dowie. The door gets opened up, and he's ready for all the peaks. The Kaid sitting behind the half wall going to delay so much time as he can keep stacking those electroclaws on the wall. And that TCSG-12 is just an absolute monster of a gun that can deal so much damage. He elects to actually give up the half-wall position as soon as I talk about how strong it is for him to stay there, and has instead moved over to lockers. Uthas and Pat have found their way inside of detention. A couple shots through the wall from One Tep's pistol does deal a little bit of damage onto Pat, which he kindly reciprocates in turn. So, it's a bit of an awkward push coming through from Vex. They haven't properly secured any top floor control, which is generally seen as the standard, goal A when you want to attack this site. One Tap has lost quite a bit of HP in a different engagement, and he's just going to sit deep inside of the site. There's no dock this time to support him and boost his HP back on up to 100. And this split push is looking really strange for Vex.
Yeah, I mean, able to get one kill there, which is immediately traded out and returned by Lacania. And they're just wasting so much time, not really sure what they want to do here. As our One Tap able to take down one of the drones. Lovely shot, but that is an even better shot going out by Dowie. And again, that might give them the edge up here if they want to try and go for this workshop push. As so far, it looks like they're not even going to bother trying to take verticality here. 25 seconds remaining. They need to try and start pushing into the bomb site and figure out where they want to go.
4 versus 3, the pressure being applied onto the top floor gets immediately finished off. Josh with the pistol gets 1 kill. There's still 1 more up here, but it doesn't matter. Harris is actually successfully going for the plant inside of the site. Users gets 1, and Josh finishes off the kill on the top floor. Vex looking convincing yet again, securing round number 2 for their first round of the game, of the map even.
My question here for Josh would be, is that really necessary? Shoprov to your sidearm. 6-1. Okay, yeah, that's kind of necessary. Look at that. He's got... I'm going to do some mathematics here, okay? Josh has double the amount of kills as the rest of his team combined.
Yeah.
Why?
I think he got a 3k or a 4k in round number 1, though. Which
Josh
was
is a
loss.
literal Ash Jaeger main. Except he doesn't play Jaeger, that's Harris.
True.
I guess, to be fair, everyone that plays in Vexed has to be an Ash Jaeger main. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone has to be at this point. As the line being brought out as the 6 pick from Habana, they're kind of throwing Hard Breach out the window. For all intents and purposes, they're going to be leaving it all up to Dowie with the Maverick.
Well, they've made the adjustment that Cade has been so effective against them. And that quite unique spot, or quite interesting spot that Robincio used, I don't know if you caught it there, but inside of detention, you can throw it up onto the ceiling above the bookcase, or the rack in the middle of the room close to the window, and it will actually electrify the 2 armory walls. That's a really difficult electrical to get rid of because of where it is. You need to get that detention control, then you actually need to find it. So by bringing out the Maverick, you just entirely remove the need to do that, and this could possibly be the first time that we see Vexed actually get the wall open.
I mean, being able to open that wall up, it sounds very simple, but in reality, is absolutely crucial, because if you're able to open that up, it's going to force any players away from the half wall, because if you stay there, you're likely going to get shut down and isolated and killed. Is Josh now going to be pushing in 3 CCTV? They've got control of it fairly quickly, but now they need to start pushing over towards Armory or Office. This is where they lose their momentum most of the time. We've seen it time and time again, that they just aren't really able to do anything until the dying embers of the round.
Yeah, definitely a difficult part to always, achieve, being able to successfully get into one of these areas, being either Office or Armory. It is what makes this map sort of so difficult to control as an attacker. It can be very easily challenged by the defenders, but with Dowie on the Maverick, most of that ability to challenge it is out of the window. No one's going to be aggressive trying to take that peek or go for a C4 over the top. So Vex still able to keep up quite a lot of the momentum. The Lion scan comes on out, but it's going to wind up in Josh being the one who loses his head. Lucario with the SMG-11 going to finish that one off. Man count in favor of UX.
Yeah, I mean, entry kills are always super important, and the fact that it was Josh going off the board, one of the main fraggers for Vexed, it's not looking too promising right now, as this could potentially favor UX, who still have all of their players left alive.
It was one of the main fraggers so far in the round, and Pangoro going to take down Dowie, so no more Maverick going to be available. Not entirely sure if he's able to finish on opening up the wall. It's not to say that the rest of the Vex lineup isn't, adept at fragging out when needed, but Pangoro, for some reason, has been able to turn it on in this map, lands a kill onto Pat. and is still trying to rotate around. Yes, the wall was successfully opened, but One-Tep Heck is still going to be alive and trying to defend it. Finally eliminated by the Zofia, who swings round and is ready for the shot onto Pangoro. The Vault going down, the nade being thrown by users. That's going to kill him if he doesn't move. He's managed to find his way on into the site and has the diffuser in hand, so can go for the plant if he wants to. But they don't seem to be aware that he's in there. The SMG-11 downs one. He goes to finish it off, but unable to do so. The TCSG of Robinshu gets the kill back. All three players are inside the sites, and that gives Harris a little bit of breathing room to work with. But, oh, he's already just outside, switching weapons at the wrong time. Is able to get the first kill, gets the second kill. That's a quad in the round so far for Harris. He seems to be unaware of the Kaid's position, and he's...
What? Are you okay there, Harris? You got your glasses on? You might need to put your glasses on, buddy.
No, he got his glasses on fine. He was just... He didn't even see Rubinshu at the end. He got those 2 kills as he pushed on in, which definitely required him having some specs on, but Rubinshu sneaking around behind the pillar. Just evading it.
Rubinshu more like Renshiro. With the TCSG. Anyway, look, moving on. We got 2-1 in favour of UX, and they're slowly starting to pull us back. It's Harris bringing out the Cali, deciding, you know what? Maybe it's time. No, he's not changed. He's gone back to Zofia. So, yeah.
I mean, after a round like that, you can't really blame him for going back on Zofia.
I don't know about that.
I mean, he's definitely gonna put that in the highlight reel at some point. You can't not put a clip like that in the highlight reel.
What is worse than being an Ash main? A Zofia main, because you think that you're better than Ash mains.
A Zofia main is an Ash main with class and intelligence.
Class. Alright, I don't need to take that from you. I don't need to take that from you. I'm classy.
I never said you weren't classy.
Look, yeah, I'm not a Zofia main.
Are you an Ash main?
No.
So, it doesn't matter. Zofia mains are Ash mains with class. If you're never an Ash main in the first place, it doesn't matter.
Okay, I'm actually, you know the worst bit is I'm actually an Ash. I'm an Ash, Jaeger, Doc, and Legion main. Yeah, I'm most strong with this community. You gotta admit it. So, looks like we're gonna be seeing yet another push coming in through CCTV. Gonna be establishing control through break room and CCTV, then using that as a springboard to then push either through armory wall or through office. As we've seen so far with Vexed, they do like to go for these unconventional strats, so potentially we will see an office push coming in at some point. A lot of teams do try to push in through armory, but if that doesn't work out, they'll try and establish control through office. Whether that's going to pan out like this, I'm not quite sure. Looks like they are just trying to make it up as they come along.
Users and One-Tep might actually get into a bit of engagement downstairs. Users hiding inside of the mini closet in customs. Gonna avoid the roaming eyes of One-Tep for the time being. Dowie is actually gonna successfully get this wall. No, not successfully get the wall open. Somehow One-Tep landing the shot onto him. No, wait, I got so confused there. Harris is gonna be the one getting eliminated by One-Tep. Dowie is still alive. He got forced off of the window of the wall by the smoke canister. And yeah, it's going to slow down the push. Harris, the savior of the last round, almost already gone.
Yeah, I mean, this round definitely not really favouring Vexed, but as I say that, they lose yet another player. Lacania picking up a kill with that SMG-11, powerful weapon, but very low HP. Gonna try and challenge out the Maverick. Droned out, pushing away.
Yeah, these ankle angles being opened up along the wall is going to make it difficult to feel comfortable trying to open up the spray from the SMG-11. Not good enough, and the frag nade coming through to eliminate the smoke. No more smoke canisters to be used in this round, and it might make it a little bit easier for Dowie to open up the wall. One-Tep does move into position to potentially deny that, and all 3 of the remaining Vex players are stacked up outside of this one position where the diffuser lost inside of box itself. Going to be a challenge for them to get on in. The wall has been successfully opened up. You hear the sledgehammer of users destroying the soft wall that remains in place. The Maestro camera as well of Pangoro going to be spotting them out and alerting the defenders to the position of the attackers. Josh still trying to work these angles and see if he can get anything going. You could just see Vexed mounting up. They're getting ready to explode onto the site all at the same time. Dowie pushes on in, gets the diffuser. Josh going into the small closet, trying to find the angles to work with. Dowie has actually managed to get himself into a safe position to go for a plant. The kill onto one tap after Josh had gone down to him. It's all left up to User to try and cover this plant coming through from Dowie, who successfully gets it down in a good position to try and cover from... User gets the kill onto Pangoro, but gives up his angle. Dowie gets one, but it's all... Chris just gets a double kill at the end. It was brought down to a 1 versus 2 right at the very last second, but Chris able to win it out.
You really gotta win those, as UX pick up yet another round against Vexed. And wow, explosive entry, I like the play, and I like the teamwork coming out by Vex, but it's just not really working out for them quite as they had anticipated. 3-1 in favor of UX, and so far, it's not really working out for Vexed. I have to be honest here, as Pat still needs to find his way towards the scoreboard. 0 kills, 3 assists, 4 deaths. Yeah. I bet he's definitely regretting the fact that he can't play Alibi and Attack, because so far he was doing pretty well with that operator in the previous matchup. We're now going to be seeing 2 6 picks, one over to the Valkyrie from the Warden and also from the Maverick to the Kali. My favourite operator being brought out, Pangoro. Excited to see what he's going to do here.
We are seeing the Kali. That's going to be interesting. Definitely showing that Vexed are feeling the pressure being brought out by this Kaid of Rubinshu, making it difficult for them to open up the walls. The Valk, they've brought it out a couple times. Pangoro definitely had a good round last time they were defending the ventilation workshop area. But I don't know, Vex, they're still bringing that momentum, and that aggression is just not working out for them for the time being, because the hold inside of the site from UX is being far more successful than it was previously.
Yeah, I mean, so far it's been brilliant play by UX, being able to hold on to their bomb site and being able to hold on to the lines of sight, forcing Vex to go in. And it definitely feels like Vex aren't really able to establish their aggressive tendencies as much here. They're not really able to go for the roam clearances that we saw in Consulate. And they're able to make it into the building, but after that they just sort of slow down, and it's like they don't really know what they want to do afterwards.
A little bit more of a slower push from Vex. They have been able to secure that CCTV control very early, which is standard. They've realized that UX aren't investing any pressure over there, so they just get on in with the pre-placed drones during the prep phase and utilize that, lack of pressure almost immediately into the round. But they aren't trying to explode on through and get those opening kills straight afterwards. The droning coming through to try and find out the locations of all of these players, 3 of whom we see up towards Office and Archives. Mikania actually sitting on top of the bookcase. It's a well-known position, but rather unorthodox for this kind of environment to just have someone sat up there off the bat at the beginning of the round, when you know that a push through Armory is relatively likely. The thermite charge gets resolved onto the back of Fountain, so it's going to give a nice long angle for the Kali to work with all the way over towards the back of Suicide. Users has managed to find his way inside of Customs, but Chris is going to get the first kill of the round, taking down Josh. Users eliminates one tip Heck, the roaming menace from UX, who's been an absolute thorn in the side of Vexed throughout this round, throughout this map so far. 4 versus 4 with about a minute 15 left on the clock. 3 versus 4 as the Valkyrie of Pangora gets taken down. Users making that SMG-11 work wonders now. And they haven't secured that top floor pressure yet, so going for a plant is still going to be very difficult. But they're doing a good job so far, Vex.
Yeah, I mean, verticality is so crucial. Looks like they're now going to be opening up the wall into Office, and that's a powerful position. C4 going down, taking down Dowie. I guess you'd say he got dowied.
No, that's gonna be the Kali gone though, so those long angles won't be as effectively held, and Chris and Lucania can still sit relatively safely up in these positions. Rubinshu has dropped down inside of the site. Pat unable to find an angle onto him for the time being, and Harris has a diffuser. He's going round towards the he wasn't sat up on top of a box, he was actually close to the vending machine. That's going to be Rabinshu gone. The wall, the castle barricade gets opened up, but Usus is going to get down through the wall. Castle may not know this, he goes swinging around with the super shorty just to clarify, but as that was going on, the diffuser was successfully planted inside the site, and this is one of the more difficult retakes to actually try and accomplish. You can sit in such safe positions to watch the diffuser once it's downed. Lucania and Chris have an absolute challenge ahead of them. Harris on the rappel, able to cover a lot of these angles, but the run out on the balcony gets countered. They were ready for it, and Harris gets the kill, and it's going to be the IQ coming in from the back, taking down Lucaria to give Vex a second round. They've not been playing quite as well here as they did on Consular, but it's still been an aggressive show to watch.
Well, I'm definitely getting flashbacks to a certain border game with a certain UK massive team that ended with a plant similar to that and a post plant similar to that, as Vex going to be pulling it back 3-2 now, as it looks like Pat's finally found the leaderboard. Hey, congrats! That's brilliant to see he finally got one kill. As so far, bottom of the leaderboard for both teams. Hopefully he's going to be able to pick that up a little bit more. So we're going to be seeing a 6-pick over from Thermite to Hibana and Valkyrie over to... Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, bum. It's going to be a pulse. There's a dock. Okay.
The pulse?
It looked like a pulse, and then it swapped over to a dock.
I think you're a couple seconds ahead of
Ah,
what the stream
come
are
on.
seeing. And I was for a period as well.
Yeah.
But we are back on track now. So 3-2, favor of UX, last defending round of their half. They're going to be inside of that workshop ventilation room once again. And this did work out quite well for them last time. They did have Pangoro on the Valkyrie, and it was left up to Harris, who did get a 4K in the round playing as a Zofia, but eventually lost the final 1 versus 1 against Rabinshu. Hopefully, given the adjustments that we've seen from the Vexed lineup, we will see a slightly different outcome in the round, at least from a Vexed standpoint. If you're UX, you want precisely the same to happen again, if not a little bit better for your own team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm liking the setup that has been established by UX. It's a good strategy. I like it. I like the emphasis they're putting on the upstairs hold. And we've seen that it plays perfectly into how Vex are attacking, which are... They sort of push upstairs, and then I kind of feel like they get a little bit bored of attacking upstairs, and then they decide to just find a random doorway and just go in through there. And it doesn't really work out for Vex. At all. The few rounds that they have won here, I'm inclined to say has been due to, you know, superior gunplay and performance by Vexed's players.
Yeah, it's definitely been a standout component of Vex plays so far. One Tep being on the receiving end of some of that damage, but Pangora going to deal a little bit of his own, taking down Pat. That's the IQ gone already, and One Tep is going to get a nice little stim to get himself back up to about 80 to 90 points of health. So, all in all, UX have started this round off very strongly yet again. The Hibana charges are likely going to get shut out by the Doc, as they hadn't cleared him out of suicide, and One Tep gets the run out kill onto Harris, so the Hibana's gone. No more X-Gyros pellets to be used in this round, and UX is starting out so dominant yet again. Vex look a little bit lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's just time and time again, UX get the entry kills, and that allows them to just dominate the game. As Josh doesn't really know what he wants to do just yet. They open up the wall into A. It's a powerful position to then start pushing in from. We see the collapse slowly starting to occur as Users gets a kill into Pangoro.
With the Doc gone, that's going to be a huge part of the defensive hold. That is going to mean that any damage dealt will actually remain for the rest of the round. Users in the bathroom using a sledgehammer to open up the wall, and Dowie's actually managed to find his way on in and is going for the plant in a decent position to try and cover afterwards. No one from the defending team is going to be able to push on up just yet, but Lucania has managed to find his way forward. Dowie goes down to One Tep Heck, but Lucania goes down immediately afterwards. Down but not out. There is a chance that he can move to safety and get revived. Users, he's in a very difficult situation to hold. The holes in the floor above him gonna really limit his options. One Tep rotating around, potentially wants to drop on into the courtyard and see if he can catch anyone off guard. It's all left up to Josh and users, but UX are wasting a lot of time trying to get on in. Josh has the hole opened up in the wall next to where the diffuser is down, so he might be able to swing on round and deny it, but with the smoke there to cover, it doesn't even matter. Josh gets a triple kill, he team kills, he gets a great flick, but it's not what you want to see. And with 1 second left on the diffuser,
Mission successful.
that
what
is...
are you doing? How does he land that?
That was a beautiful shot. If I'm users, I'm not even mad.
Was that a 4K? So
3 kills at the end, 1 onto users. So yeah.
So I mean, overall, pretty good work by Josh, who technically sitting at double digits right now. I do hope somebody's keeping count of that. Technically 10 kills if you include his teammate. How do you... I don't understand how... anyway, really well played by Josh. I like where they planted. Really good performance. We're now going to be swapping over roles as Vexed on the defense now. Nice operator lineup being brought out. Doc could be picked. Do you think that could
Attackers need to
be a
locate
nice
and
change of
defuse
pace?
the
Do you feel like that's going to benefit UX a little bit more rather than a Cali?
I'm not entirely sure. The aggression coming out from Vexed that we expect to see. In all honesty, part of me says that UX should just bring out a 5 stack of gunners to just, win the fight, so they're gonna come rushing towards.
I mean, so far, nice setup being established again by Vex, and I just want to highlight this. You see a lot of utility being based within Office. You see with all the reinforced walls, but likely we're going to be seeing Jaeger ADS stacked up here. Yep, there we go. That would generally imply that they're prepared to hold on through Fountain to try and deny any push coming in through Office. It's going to be a very strong position. You see the rotate hole being set on radio wall as well. Uses possibly going to go out for a run out in a second, or maybe a... not sure.
I reckon he wants to try and remain alive down here as long as possible with the C4 in hand, as that is one of the better pieces of plant denial that Vex have available. They don't have that Meister being brought. Echo, of course, has been banned out. They have Harris on the smoke. He's a pretty decent smoke player, but having that C4 available as well. Dowie does have one additionally, although I think that might be used more to try and prevent this Maverick play, which is being used rather creatively to create a long angle from inside of a CCTV break room onto the top of Metal Hallway, or Metal Stairs Hallway, so that they can see on into the site and cut off the cross by lockers. A little bit less fuel that could be used, though, for when they want to actually open up the walls on into the site. The user's going to get the first kill, taking down the Dekebi, so no phone calls to annoy us through this round from now on.
I mean, Doc could be going down first as they may be able to try and pick Chris up, but Dowie picks up a kill onto Pangoro, and again, it's just rapidly falling away from UX. So they're going to be able to pull this back? Potentially. They just need to try and pick up another entry kill.
Yeah, both of the C4s for Vexed have gone. Chris back up on 28 points of health. It's going to be difficult. This is a nice angle being held by the Doc of Pat. Definitely not one that you expect to encounter when you round the corner. One tap on the receiving end of a little bit of damage from Users MPX, but he's going to be able to get away safely. Users really trying to chase that kill, but to no avail. One kill coming through from Josh now to get his total up to 10. First player to hit double digits in this map. And one tap and Chris have an absolute struggle ahead of them. The diffuser is down inside of break room. He's able to secure 2 kills. Well, yeah, 2 kills have been found. They are able to recover the diffuser, but this is still so difficult, especially with Pat holding those dedicated bullet holes. Landing the kill onto one tap is all left up to the Zofia. She's on about 20 points of health, with it all to do up against the gunners of Vex. Does get the kill onto Dowie. 1 versus 2, 25 seconds still to go. But both of the players on Vexed have been stimmed up to full HP. The smoke canisters being used by Harris to delay as much as possible. Zofia didn't pick up the diffuser before she started to aggress onto the site, so these are going to come down to just straight gunfights, but it looks like Vexed aren't rushing to give them to her. She's going to be holding these angles and waiting out as much time as possible. There's no chance for Chris to win the round now, and Vexed going to pick up their first defensive round, with Pat actually getting the final kill.
Much slower hold there by Vexed. Not necessarily challenging as much as we'd be expecting them to. But, to be fair, they won the round. That's what matters at the end of the day. Is Josh, 10 kills so far. 11 if we also include his teammate kill.
I think that it might be a stat that Josh wants best ignored.
No,
but
no, we're
it was
keeping
a
that.
beautiful shot. It was a beautiful shot.
It was a glorious shot. And I don't want anybody to forget that. Yeah, so far, brilliant performances by both teams. We're going to be going to Ventilation on Workshop. It's our next bomb site. I'm liking this. I'm curious about the Maestro play. I'm always curious about this. I think planting are very important. And I like the fact that they are emphasizing that, the amount of C4s they have available with the Maestro and also the smoke, the toxic A canisters. This could be quite exciting.
Indeed. It'll be the first time that we've already seen an anchor come through and users playing it. So, you did play the Monty on Consulate. They did play the Mirror a little bit as well when defending the downstairs. But I don't think we saw a Maestro be brought out at all by Vex. They like to generally to go for those 3-speed operators for the spawn peaks and the runouts. So this implies a little bit of a slower strategy, or a hold coming through from Vexed, maybe not being so aggressive as early on, with a lot of focus on being able to hold onto that top floor for as much time as possible.
I would really like to see that IQ get a bit of a one-tap in this round, potentially getting the entry frag here of this round.
Alright.
You get it? One tap?
I think that might be why he named himself that way.
Because he wants to get them one taps. Anyway. Take us through this round, Dino. just move us on.
Well, we're seeing UX also being able to secure that CCTV pressure early on. It's something that is generally held a lot more firmly by the defenders, but this time, or in this game at least, it's not working out, or there's not being held too much. Users on the Maestro still wanting to go for the runouts, but it's Josh going to collect the first kill of the round onto the Zofia of Chris. Now, there is... Again, it's the pushing pressure being gone so early on, and Chris has been one of the most standout players on this on this team for UX, and Pangoro is going to have it all to do in terms of providing that pushing power for UX. Pat, though, it seems like I mention people's names and they die. Pat with the C4 taking down Pangoro, one tap, not getting a one tap, but does take Dowie out of the round. That's the Jaeger gone in trade of an Ash and a Zofia. You're definitely sitting pretty if you're Vexed in this round. And this is a great angle being held by users. Inside of Workshop, you open up holes, you can see the armory door itself. Lucania managing to find himself in a gunfight. Takes about 50 points of damage, but top floor has been secured, and that is Cam's getting hacked. Josh going down as well, so he won't be able to add to his kill tally just yet. Gonna have to wait until the next round before we can see if he can extend it even further. And all three players from Vexed are sitting inside, well, it's sitting downstairs, top floor control, all in favor of UX, but one tap is out of breach charges now, so there won't be too many more angles that can get opened up easily. And this execute is going to be so difficult for UX to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, in all likelihood, we probably will see a push in through the window to try and go for a plant on the B-bomb site, but is the Valkyrie going to be able to try and deny this, as she is going to challenge a little bit? Smoke gas canister going off. A lot of plant denial available. It's going to be a question... Oh, look at that collapse into the bomb site!
Yeah, Harris and Users getting one apiece as a Rabinshu had. Was that a knife at the end? Yeah, Users just sprinting into one tap, getting the knife to finish it off. I mean, you've just got to go for the aggression at the end. Users was able to sit in a rather safe position. The drops on into the site not working out for UX, and Vexed sitting on their defense, getting to pick up the first 2 rounds. We are going to see them now move on to the tertiary site, which is looking like it's going to be customs and supply. A lot of teams have been preferring bathroom over custom. Why do you think that is?
To be fair, it can be quite, especially with the longer lines of sight that you're able to hold inside of custom. It can be more painful, especially when you're using that in conjunction with ACOGs. As well as that, you're also able to hold upstairs inside of CCTV rather than office, which some people do prefer. I think it's a different style of play. For both sites, it's very important to hold onto the room above the objective. But with custom and supply, I feel like it's a bit easier to do that. Honestly, it's bigger rooms, easier to hold on to. Smaller rooms are just death traps in case you are able to take above it. So looking over towards the two defenders on Vexed, actually, just want to highlight here, Uses and Josh, both with double kills right now, or double-digit kills, I should say. I guess you could say they're getting pretty vexed about this game.
Doesn't that mean they're getting worked up about it? Surely it would be UX getting worked up. Well, UX are getting vexed about this game. Vexed about how they need to counter Vexed.
Alright, I'm tired of your sass. I'm tired of your sass, okay?
Hey.
Let me make my jokes, okay? My excellent jokes.
Oh, those are jokes?
Yeah, get it? Because they're getting vexed.
I thought jokes made people laugh.
The only thing that the only thing that you can say that makes people laugh is your KD.
Oh, okay. Alright. Well, the KD of Josh is definitely something to not laugh about. And Harris sitting on a 2 KD as well, going 8 and 4. Everyone on Vexed has been playing rather well this game. Pat, the only one sitting... Oh no, Pat and Dowie sitting minus. Didn't actually notice Dowie going 3 and 7. But we won't talk about that. He played very well on the last map. Josh, though, going to continue to add to his total, getting his 12th kill as he eliminates OneTap, one of the better players that we've seen from UX so far throughout this map, already gone and off the board. These early kills working out generally in favor of Vex, but Harris is going to find himself downed from the Decadi, and the peak... Oh! What? The TCSG of Pat taking the head clean off the Decadi, who was trying to secure the kill onto the downed Goyo on the main stairs. Now he's still managing to hold on to CCTV. Rabinshu gets a team kill onto Pangoro after Josh had been down and used the stim to get himself back up immediately. Chris gets the kill onto Dowie, rotating out of CCTV to see if he can assist inside of the site, but still a 4 versus 2. That team kill definitely gonna make you mad if you are on UX.
So far, 2 team kills throughout this game. 1 for Vexed and 1 for UX. Hopefully we're going to see a couple more of them, because they're always quite fun and enjoyable, provided you're not the one getting team killed.
Yeah. Josh has used up all of his stims now, one to revive himself, and I think one to heal him all the way back up. Harris is going to remain on that 20 points of health for the remainder of the round, and Pat on just over 50. There is about 55 seconds to go, so Ravinshu and Chris, they have the diffuser and they have time to work with, but they don't have any control over important areas above the site. Josh is still sitting above in Armory, so you can still impact the round if they just elect to try and secure this top floor control, which is what they're going to do now. The door of CCTV to the balcony is closed, so it doesn't give Josh an easy rotation on through. And they're looking through this main central site hatch to see if they can find any locations. The breach charges that's a very nice angle to open up. It gives you a good angle onto the detention window where we did see one player from Vex sitting before, but it's going to be Pat with the C4 to take down the Zofia.
15 seconds to go.
He was the one that's sitting in that angle, actually, so using the C4 to counter that, and Josh opening up the doors upstairs, going to finish off Rabinshu to give Vex a clean defensive rotation yet again.
Yeah, I mean, solid performance by Vexed here, as Dowie is exclaiming that he's a border player. I don't really know about that, but yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you want to be Dowie, you can be
Dowie,
anything you want to be.
Well, yeah, and apparently he wants to be at the bottom of the leaderboard because 338, I don't really know if you are really the border player that you're exclaiming to be. Um, but anyway, who am I to judge? So we're now going to go on match point 6-3 in favor of Vexed, and we're going to be in 6-pick from the Buck to an IQ. My second favorite operator to my third favorite operator. Just kind of making this up as I go along.
You just change which operator you prefer the most as the rounds go by. I do believe we have managed to find ourselves a little bit ahead of the of the stream again, so we will just hang on a second as you guys catch on up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, looking like it's going to be another top floor defense. And Vex sitting on match point, this is definitely going to work out better for them. It's one of the more defensible sites on the map, if not the most defensible site on the map. So it's looking promising that Vex will be able to secure this with a 7-3 scoreline, but never say never in Siege. Absolutely anything can happen
10
and
seconds left
switch
before
the momentum in favor of the other team.
Well, the only thing you can say never about is that you're never hitting plat. So, I'm sorry. That's actually really harsh. I'm sorry.
I carried you the other day. What do you mean?
Anyway, doesn't look like we're going to be seeing too many cheeky peeks, but looking over towards Jesus, that's going to be very cheeky. Is it going to pay out for him? No damage dealt just yet. I don't know if anybody spawned out to the east, as Jesus might just be looking out
exposed.
of a window for himself as Josh picks up the kill onto Pangoro.
And once again, the Ash gone early. I feel like Pangoro is probably one of the better fraggers for UX, but when you're barely allowed inside of the building, it's really not going to work out for you. The rounds that we saw Pangoro perform best on was when he was playing on the defensive half, so he's definitely going to have an impact past the first 10 seconds if he doesn't go for one of those risky spawn peaks that seem to have been working out oh so effectively for Vexed. Josh is vexing me for the time being, able to stay aggressive inside of the CCTV area, using those dock stims to keep himself up to 100, but the pressure is going to be mounting all around him. Players going to both ends of the balcony, and this run out from users not going to be followed through on as he doesn't want to lose his life, but Harris is going to take away the life of Lucaria whether he wants it to or not. One Tap Hack gets the kill onto Patton. This jump out by Josh might work as they're not going to be looking the right way, and it does to perfection. Rabinshu going down. Now it's all left up to One Tap Hack and Chris in a 2 versus 4. How many times have we seen that today? Minute 30 still to go, just about. And they don't have the diffuser, they don't have any map control, and they're looking down the barrel of a 2-0 loss. Dowie gets the kill onto One Tap, finally getting his 4th kill in the game. And now it's all left up to Chris. We've seen him perform well in these kind of situations, but I don't think he'll be able to mount up a whole 1 versus 4 clutch. And the pistol coming out to finish it off from users. He did get one before he was taken down, but that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. 7-3 on map number 2 for Vexed after a convincing 7-1 victory on Consulate.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely see that Vex change up the playstyle a little bit there. It did get a little bit hairy. They did slow down a bit, but overall, brilliant performance by Vex, not only in Border, but also in Consulate. And look at that, glorious Jaeger, the MVP, to nobody's surprise.
Yeah, Josh managing to rack up 15 kills, absolute fragger all throughout the game, and there's really nothing to say about it beyond UX were only able to establish momentum when they started out on defense. Vex just brought it constantly all the way through, and it was so difficult for UX to, get anything going for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was very aggressive plays in the first map, and I feel like that may have thrown off UX a fair bit. However, it definitely slowed down it. I would argue it became a lot closer in that second map, as Vexed, I kind of felt like they started to get put on the back foot a little bit by UX. But unfortunately, yep, as you mentioned, 2 maps played, 2 maps down for Vexed. Well played by them. And overall, it's brilliant performance by both teams, and hopefully they're going to be able to take all of the experiences that they learned from these matches on board for next week.
Yeah, and just to give you a little update on the standings, I do believe with those 2 wins today, that secures Vexed as the top of the scoreboard, or the top of the leaderboard once again. That put their record at 7 wins and 1 loss, ahead of Revenge's 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. So they're able to continue that position. UX won't have changed too much in the standings. I think they might have slipped a spot. But our next game of the evening, because this is going to be the last you hear from us today, is going to be casted by Cherish and Silver, and that will be a showdown going on between Lucendi and Regnant. Lucendi currently sitting in third. Need to try and claw something